What's up, everyone? Today's episode, we get a chance to sit down and talk to Jacob from State of Illusion. We get a chance to talk about his musical journey, the songwriting process, his production techniques, and the realities of being in a band today. But before we get into it, I would like to say to please like and subscribe to all of our channels, State of Illusion, Rock DNA Magazine, and myself, Drop Click Images. Without your support, we can't continue to do what we love. And without any further ado, let's get into it. And we are live. What's up, Jacob?
What's up?
Not much. How's the day going?
It's going good. Going good. It's a beautiful day. It's been a little cold and finally starting to warm up, so that's nice.
Yeah, I'm in New York. It's been 30 degrees out the last 2 weeks, and then we had a brief stint of 60-degree weather for about 3 days, and I was outside all day.
Yeah.
Every single day I was just outside walking, like, this is awesome. And then one day Larry went from 60 to 20 in snow.
Yeah. Luckily we don't have it that bad, but it's between 30 and 40 to 80. It's like that same kind of flip. One day it'll be 80, one day it's 40.
Was 40 considered cold for you guys?
Oh, it's freezing for me. I don't know about other people. Yeah.
I'm like, 40 is perfect for me, where I'm wearing a hoodie and I got jeans on or gym shorts because I'm very laid back in that aspect. And
Nope.
All right, man. So I do got to ask, State of Illusion. I love the band name. How did you come up with that name?
I don't know. I came up with it when I was in high school, and we had it was like a battle of the bands type thing, and we didn't have a band name for the night before the show, and that's just I was going back and forth with my drummer on the phone, and we were just throwing really, really terrible band names back and forth, and it just State of Illusion just popped into my mind, and I told Chet, our drummer, and he goes our drummer at the time, and he kind of stewed on it for a second and was like, that's the best one so far, so we'll use it for now, and it stuck. But then when I told everybody the next day at school, State of Illusion, they're like, you mean State of the Union? I said, no, that's stupid. And they're like, well, that State of Illusion's stupid. So they everybody hated that when I came up with it, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just night before the first show,
And when was that, if you don't mind me asking? If I don't want to age you at all, but
I do mind you asking. 2005, man. I've had a lot of ups and downs. Yeah, 2005. Yep.
Yeah, that was actually a very good year. I don't know about you, but where I live, the local music scene was incredible from 03, 04 to about 07, 08, somewhere in that 4 to 5 year range. The local shows on a weekday were selling out. My brother was in the band during that time. Wish I can remember. Oh, Scarletta was the name. And they would play, open up for bands and do stuff like that around Buffalo and Rochester, New York. But every hometown show, local bands would sell out 500 cap venues. And I'm like, this is amazing. And I was 3.5 years younger than him. So that was my first experience on top of Warped Tour in 06 of this is what music is. Holy crap.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember how really our local scene was, at least for folks in my age group. It was, there was smaller stuff, and we didn't have we did have a decent sized venue, but that was more for national acts that came through. Mm-hmm. But it was a lot of post hardcore. That was what was really popular, or hardcore. I don't know when it became post, but hardcore kind of
somewhere
stuff.
Between Every Time I Die and Rise Against, there's post hardcore, and this all mixed.
Yeah, for sure.
No, but back to the name, I absolutely love it, because maybe 20 years ago, we're young and we didn't understand it, but now I'm looking at it more in today's world. Don't want to get into politics, but I'm just there's something there.
Yeah, I agree. It can mean anything, you can apply it to anything for sure. I think it's a cool name, so whatever.
Yeah. Hey, that's all that matters. That's what I say. I'm as long as you think it's cool and awesome, screw everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But it works well with the sounds that you guys have. It's very atmospheric, very cinematographic. Reminds me of cinema style. When I'm listening to it, I feel like I'm on a journey, in a movie, and it's captivating. So
that's
it's
awesome.
Yeah. So did you guys ever mean to do that, or was that just on accident in a way?
I guess it's accident. Growing up, the bands that really inspired me were bands like Cold, Stained, Breaking Ben, stuff like that. And then as I got probably, I guess in the mid 20s, I started falling in love with bands like Periphery and The Contortionist, and also like post rock kind of stuff. The ambience and kind of blended with like the heaviness a little bit, in at least in my mind, with things I wanted to write. And then I still wanted those big like rock, choruses and melodies and stuff from the bands I grew up listening to. So, and like the emotion that they had all kind of entwined. It for me, it's just about like setting a mood. You know what I mean? And so maybe that's where that like that feeling comes from that you're talking about. You're not the first person to say it was kind of like cinematic sounding. So, but I appreciate hearing it. So I guess it's just a culmination of influences.
Yeah. And actually, I was trying to figure out what bands were inspiring because I do hear a little bit of Breaking Benjamin, but once you mentioned Cold, I'm like, that's when it like snapped. I'm like, that's it. Like, I do, like, your voice and the style that you're playing does remind me a lot of Cold in their way, but like you do it your way and it's unique. But I'm like, I can hear it and I like that.
Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. We love those guys. Scooter's a friend, and like, yeah, those guys are awesome.
That's one of the few bands I've never got a chance to see in live that really inspired me to like, well, not inspired me, but like the bands that I first got into. Either finding them on video game soundtracks or MTV when that was a thing, and yeah, just finding music in general. Like I miss those days.
Dude, yeah. Well, they're going on tour at the end of April, I think. And man, you should check them out. We're doing a couple dates with them on this tour,
Awesome.
but yeah, great band for sure.
Yeah, and so were those the bands that got you to pick up guitar as well, or is that something?
Yeah, yeah. Early it was like Stained and Seether when they first came to the U.S. That first record Seether put out was it was the first thing I learned how to play on guitar. That album, a disclaimer, I learned by ear, and it's just been downhill from there. You know what I mean?
Man, I give you credit because I played bass growing up. When after going to Warped Tour and all that stuff, I was like, the only thing I wanted to do with my life was be on that stage. Didn't know how, didn't work out, but I give a lot of credit to people who can just hear it with their ear and start playing it. I'm just like, I've tried to understand that. I can't do it.
Dude, yeah, it's something you can't take for granted, and I think it's just in my DNA. My dad could do it and I could do it, but I can't read very well. Like even tabs, like the numbers all make sense and I can read them, but not like I have
Like
to really like
playing with along with it.
yeah, I got to like hum with it while I'm doing it.
Yeah, I learned. So I tried to do the music notes at first and actually learn it right, and that didn't work out too well. Like I kind of understood it, but I was just bored out of my mind. But the numbers thing with how my brain works, that was something where it just picked up for me, and I'm like, okay, I could play along, I can do this, I understand what's going on. So I guess to each their own.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody has a different learning style with just in general, right? And music, I just got lucky with the ear thing.
Yeah. And you said that your dad also had the ear thing; he can
Yeah.
easily pick up.
Oh man, he was crazy with guitar. He could hear anything and he was a really really good guitar player. Like I'm passable and I can write songs okay, but he could just like rip on a guitar. And so like, he'd hear it one time and be able to, shred something.
Now, did he play at all, or is it just kind of like one of those things that he did as like a hobby pastime?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he played he almost got a record deal with Atlantic back in the 80s. Like they sent him to work in a studio with somebody and it just ended up not happening. And then, I guess when he and mom had me, he's like, okay, I got to kind of be serious about making, making money. And because, the music business isn't
it isn't,
great for that.
yes, especially for rock music.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So he kind of gave it up, but he was still playing until the end, man. A couple weeks before he passed away, he was over here and we were working on songs that he was writing. It was really cool.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, man. It was great.
I'm sorry about your dad's passing, but that is awesome that you have those kind of memories where
Dude.
a lot of people, my dad never played bass or guitar in general. That wasn't his thing. So music was my own thing. He connected with sports. So I played hockey and football.
I got you. Yeah. Yeah, I was very blessed, that we both kind of had similar interest there.
Is that how you got into production?
No, I've just always been that guy that like if something interests me, I want to know how to do it. You know what I mean? And especially I'm kind of cheap too, so it's like studio time's not it can add up really fast. I just learned how to do it and trial and error. Um, yeah. I always want to know the whys and the hows, and so yeah, here we are. It's downhill from there.
I tried to learn the production side, not my thing. I was more into marketing, and without even realizing it, I was just like, oh yeah, we can do this, we can customize shirts. And when I was in a band and figure out touring and like that's how my brain worked, where I try to understand production of it and I'm like, I don't understand this.
See, it's funny that you say that, man. Like you and I are like, I think we can make a good team. We should go
Yeah.
into business together here, man. Because I went to business school. Like I've got a degree in business, but I hate the marketing stuff. And especially now, like social media wasn't like a huge marketing tool when I was in college. And now I don't really get it. So yeah, I have to leave that to smarter minds than mine. But the production thing, I'm okay at it.
I mean, it's kind of funny how you say that, because my brother and we co-own a business, and he is the guy that throws out ideas that are just outrageous, and then I'm the one that can figure out how to hone it in and be like, this is how we can execute it.
Yeah.
So like in a weird way, it works because there's things there he's just saying that are completely ridiculous, dumb, and stupid. But I'm like, there is something there though where I can hone in and like, all right, this is how we can do something like that and follow these steps.
Yeah.
Where or not he follows the steps is a different story, but there's something there.
And both of those things are great to have, right? You got to have an ideas person, however outlandish an idea might be, and somebody that can either make it happen or say, hey, I've run the numbers and that's not possible.
Yeah, he's still trying to convince me on a flamethrower.
Uh, what is there to convince? Say yes.
I mean, as much as I want to, there is more lights, there's trussing, there's other things that we need to buy, and the flamethrower is not exactly something that we could use at a wedding.
I mean,
maybe at a corporate event, but
there you go. You never know, man. You never know.
I don't know. He keeps saying like, dude, it's when it's cold out in the winter, we can use it just to blow like shovel our driveways instead of spending hours doing it. Just get that and just melt all the snow and ice.
Hey, that's a money making thing right there. Post up in the neighborhood. We'll melt your driveway. You know what I mean?
They just need to sign a waiver saying if we burn down the house, it's not our fault.
Yeah, definitely need some liability insurance on that.
Oh, yeah, no, but yeah, with the marketing side. So I got my degree in marketing last year, 2 years ago. I don't know. It's a blur. Thank you. And yeah, I was actually going for accounting and took a marketing class, and the teacher pulled me aside and just said, hey, like what you did is exactly what I would present to an actual company. And this is so she's like, you should really consider switching. And I'm like, this was fun and easy. I'm switching.
That's awesome. What kind of marketing do you do? Realize we're taking a turn here, but I'm curious.
No. Like when it comes to this stuff, I'm like, let's just have the squirrel moments fly. Like there's always a couple questions I got, but from there it's just, squirrel moments. But so right now my I'm starting a new position April 6th, which would be head of sales and marketing for a small company for residential trash. So last year they went from scrap metal to residential because they were both tired of corporate trash companies just not treating people right. And they got annoyed. So they're like, yeah, we're just going to do it ourselves. And this year I'm coming in, I'm the face of it. I'm doing the marketing, the sales of it all. So there's that. The business that my brother and I own is SD Entertainment, where we do lighting and sound for weddings, corporate events. We do shows, not so many shows anymore because like you said, the money isn't there. It's fun. It was tough when you would work an 8-hour day, load up, go to the show, do that, and then tear down, get back home, offload. It's 3-4 o'clock in the morning and you got work at 6. Like, so you just don't sleep.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, everybody in our band has day jobs, so we know that grind for sure.
Yep. So I do the marketing in that. as well, where especially for weddings, like this is like January, February, March is like the 3 months where I really push marketing, where we create reels for just tips, wedding tips that hopefully newly engaged couples are just, there's things that they're not thinking about. So I'm like, hey, whether or not you go with us, like here's just tips. Like this is stuff that we learned over the last 14 years, things that you should think of. And which a lot of it is things that most clients don't think of, wedding couples don't think of. Yeah, I also do this for Rock DNA magazine,
Gotcha.
where yeah, and then I'm also a photographer and videographer for concerts.
You need to slow down, man.
Let's just say there's a reason why I'm single.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I enjoy everything that I do. And that's always been the thing where I'm like, unless I'm not happy doing what I'm doing, then I'm not going to do it. With this stuff, I absolutely love doing it, especially interviews where I get a chance to talk to people. Photography, videography, it's still a lot of fun. It's just more work because, like I said, you get home from work. Most shows are on a weekday, so it's get home from work, go either to Buffalo, Rochester for the show, or somewhere else if they need me. Shoot the show, come home, do a couple hours of editing, try to send some stuff off to them for the following morning, go back to work, and then come home, finish editing, and work on the video recaps. So it's a lot. In this, I'm like, I'm home. I don't have to travel. I can edit. I got more than 12 hours to get something back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Understood.
Yeah. But the biggest thing for me is I get to talk to random people. This is like, I'm like the most sociable and unsociable person.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where like I could talk to strangers all day long, but like when I'm at a show or out in public, I can also just be like sit there or stand there in silence all day and just be totally content.
Yeah, dude. Same.
Mm.
In my job, I don't have to really deal with anybody, and I'm kind of like introverted if I can help it, but I have to be extroverted for the band, So it's yeah, a little bit of both is good,
Yeah. My brother's the one who can just talk forever and ever, and he called me 10 minutes before this to tell me a story of how he the head honcho of the company that he works for is in Germany, flew over here, was looking at a machine, they were talking, and come to find out that he found out through the grapevine that guy's a DJ. And we're DJs, and he does weddings as well. He must love it because I know he doesn't need the money.
Right.
If he's a head honcho, he's done something right.
DJing in his blood, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like after the CNC stuff that they were talking about with the machine, my brother just quickly switches the conversation to wedding DJing, and his bosses all just got straight faced because, they have to be polite and respectful. And then my brother and I are just blunt.
Yeah.
So they were nicely clenching their butt cheeks.
Understood.
Oh, yeah. So my brother's that, and I'm also the one that can just sit back and just talk and be like not say anything, and then I'm also blunt without realizing it.
Hey, that's in my visits to New York, I found that everybody down here in the South thinks like New Yorkers are rude and Northerners in general are rude. But my impression when I've been up there is that everybody's so nice. They're just like they either A, don't really have time to deal with you unless you go out of your way to like ask them something, or B, are just maybe more direct. But yeah, the bluntness is accurate. But man, everyone I've met in New York, I've had like the nicest people or nicest conversations with people in New York, and down here it's a lot of fake niceness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of tell that to a lot like touring members and stuff that come around here, and I start talking to them like, yeah, most of us are nice. Like I think it's because we deal with the weather in the winter for 6 months and it's cold that we just kind of come off with like a resting bitch face and we look angry all the time. But like you just say hi to us and then it just switches and we're super nice.
Exactly.
I don't think I've been to the Carolinas, so I don't know. Like I haven't really had a chance to talk to anyone from there other than I've been to Florida, which
that's like my wife and I call Florida the north of the South because it's just a bunch of New Yorkers down there.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down there last year for a couple days. Just it was March or April. Either way, I just wanted to get out of the cold for like 3 or 4 days, and flights were like $100 round trip. So like it was easy, yes, to go down there. And I ran into people I started having conversations with, and they were both from New York as well. I'm like, what?
Yeah, yeah, the north of the South for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also Florida, it's its own thing of
It
people.
is. It's its own thing. The
Yeah,
Florida man joke is real, you know.
it is real. Did you ever see the video clips of like the Florida Man games?
No, I've just seen the headlines, like newspaper headlines and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, so I saw clips of it and I thought it was a joke, but it's actually a legit competition where they were like running with grocery carts trying to like steal stuff and run away from cops I'm like,
Yeah,
this is the most
great.
entertaining and ridiculous thing, but I'm like, I feel like a lot of people when they picture Florida Man, that's exactly what they're picturing.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And our bass player's from Tampa. He's a Florida man, so we as
Yeah,
much
there's some
as much shade as we want to throw at him, we can do that.
yeah, I feel like cuz I was a bass player and I feel like we get the most shit at times.
Oh yeah,
Like it just comes with the you only play four strings.
yeah.
Or for me it was five.
Ours Gunner, our bass player is like he's super good. Like he's a really good bass player. Like there's a difference in a guy that plays bass and like a bass player, you know.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
he's definitely a bass player, but he's like, I can't pick on him too much because he's so good at so many things, and he's like very like put together and level headed. So he and I get along on that because we're probably the most like, I
Chill.
don't know, like business minded, I think. Yeah. So he helps me out in those kind of scenarios where we need that kind of business mind, and he like totally fix our van, set it up, built bunks in it with his dad. He's got like a wealth of knowledge, but mechanics and electronics and stuff like that. So I can't
Oh,
pick on him too much. He's a good bass player.
that is the nicest way I could ever hear that because my nickname in the band was just useless bassist.
I mean,
I'm like, yeah, whatever.
yeah, yeah, it's like that sometimes for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, there, like you said, there's a difference of, a person who plays bass and a bass player. I saw Era. Do you know Era, the band? I saw that. So I took some photos of them last Sunday, and I got a chance to finally like watch them up close for a song because I already got my photos and I'm just watching, and all that musicianship between all of them is just incredible. Like the bass player and the guitarist are both doing the finger tapping.
Yeah,
And I'm just like, what?
yeah, they're crazy good for sure,
Oh yeah.
man. You got
Oh yeah.
any kind of, if you play in one of those kind of bands, I don't know if you'd call them like gent or genty or whatever, prog metal or what, I don't know. They you got to be good.
Yeah.
You can't be a guy that plays bass in those bands,
Yeah. Or a guy who plays drums or a guy who plays guitar
Yeah.
or a person who sings or screams. Like they are all just incredible. And the singer, I was laughing because with Era, to me, it's such a vibe of a band where there's times where I just want to like throw down and mosh, and then there's other times where I just like want to just vibe with the music. And the singer was doing the same exact thing. Like he's on stage, just kind of walking, just doing this with the music. I'm like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, and then I come to find out, I think the singer was from Texas in July. I think it's that guy. Yeah, it's Texas. Yeah, I believe it's Texas in July. I didn't realize that until my friend, who was one of the other photographers, brought that up. And I was like, oh, crap, did not know that.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that either. They had some good, I don't remember much of Texas in July, but their mixes, I remember listening to an old drummer put them on. I still remember hearing it. I was like, that hits hard,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually released an EP probably 2-3 years ago. And again, it was one of those, once I first heard it, I put it through my sound bar. So I had the bass and everything, and it just punched. I'm like, I miss this.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that, man. That's crazy.
Yeah. So I want to bring up production again. How did you get those ambient tones and textures put into, like, how did you come up with that?
It's a good question. Axe effects, I just layered a bunch of, reverb. I don't know, just big reverb, like a big reverb pedal in the Axe effects or patch or whatever. I don't know. It's the hard thing is just dialing it into where it's like not noise, but not super dry either. You know what I mean? You got to be able to like differentiate the notes. I can't give you a great, great explanation other than just, yeah, I spent time dialing in a bunch of, patches and like, tailored it to each song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just spending hours on weekday nights or Friday nights, whatever, of just sitting in front of a computer with your guitar, playing the notes and tweaking pedals and
Yeah.
effects. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. When I was in the band, we were the same where there was, Friday nights when we would all hang out and record. It was, we would record certain parts, but then we would spend most of the like an hour or two afterwards just messing with same like three chords, but going through different sounds and different tweaks, trying to find something unique that stood out. And
Yeah.
eventually we found it, but it took forever because it was just hours of, well, this sounds cool, but what about if we add, like you said, more reverb or whatever it was? And then same with bass, it was come in, we would plug in, and then I'm like, well, I want a little bit more distortion to it, so let's add this and let's tweak this sound. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you get into analysis paralysis for sure.
Now, how do you guys record? Is it like you guys all get together and jam, and then do you guys go to a recording studio afterwards once you have the songs, or is it just all done through your MacBook or laptop?
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's all on the MacBook for sure. The Pluto's Ghost that we're re-releasing in on April 17th. That was all I did all that one. So the drums I programmed those, and played all the parts. But our next album, which will be probably early 20, what year are we in? 26, early 27. That one, we're doing live drums but we've got like a space that we're going to use, set up our own mics and all that. I think we've got it figured out, pretty well. So we're not gonna do a studio thing. We're just gonna do all the drums in one room and then probably bring it all back here and do all the guitars and everything else here. Yeah, make it easy
And affordable.
and relatively affordable.
Yes. That is, I know there's a lot of pros and cons with today's music industry, but for smaller bands and people who are just coming up who are just trying to get their music out there, I feel like we're in the gold rush of it because you can buy a MacBook for a couple $1,000s. If you don't want to use MacBook software, you can buy a software, whatever, but you can do it all at your house. You don't need to spend.
Dude, you can do you can get a cheap computer. You can get I use Reaper as my DAW. Reaper's free. I used to use Pro Tools back when it was industry standard, and I'm not sure if it still is, but the subscription model made that tough. It crashed all the time. I did Cubase, it was fine, but then I found out about Reaper, and it's just as good. It's free, essentially free. They say, you can pay $60 for it, or you can just kind of use the trial, for eternity. Guess what I'm doing? But I need to pay them at some point. I need to do it. But you can use. I've heard good drum recordings with one mic, just depending on what mic you use and where it's set up. Or you can use a free software or cheap software for drums. You only really need, outside of that, like there are great free guitar plugins now. So you just need an interface to plug everything into. You can get those relatively cheap. And there go the dogs. I guess my wife is home. All right. But yeah, and you only really need, like one microphone. It's you can do everything cheap, but it's, you have to have like a decent ear for it to sound good. Otherwise, you can have like I've heard this too. You have a ton of great gear, like top of the line stuff, and it sounds terrible at the end. But you have people that are using next to nothing or freeware, and it sounds great. It's all just about how you use your ear and your songwriting ability.
Yeah. When we were a band, that's how we did it too. I think we use Pro Tools. I mean, we're going back 18 or so. So it's been a minute with this, but yeah, we would literally have it all done at my buddy's apartment. And he would, when we had to do vocals, he would have set up all the foam pads, put it in a corner in his bedroom. We would do that, tear it down. We very essentially became a DIY band when it came to recording. And I think people need to understand, if you want to do it, just go do it. You don't need a $10,000 setup. You can do it for $500-600.
Yeah, that's what's amazing about music is there's like almost no barrier to entry. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? You can just, if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah. And then as much as there's pros and cons to Spotify and Apple Music and Amazon Music, but the best part is, and YouTube, so we'll just throw it all out there. But the best part is like anybody can upload their music. You
Yeah.
can upload their podcast or whatever. So like if you want to do it, you can do it now. It isn't like, oh, I need to go spend thousands and thousands of dollars to just go record 3-4 songs. It's spend a couple $100 on the stuff that you need, do it efficient, and learn.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And you'll pick up gear as you go. You know, if you're, you know, I'm just using stuff I've collected over 20 years to do this with, you know, but I'm still using a lot of the same techniques that, you know, you learn in the beginning. I don't know. It's so easy to get into, you know, and, you know, don't let the fear of, you know, doing it perfectly or how the pros do it or whatever every YouTube video is telling you to do or whatever. Don't let that bother you. You know, just get in and do it.
Yeah.
These dogs are going crazy. Oh, that didn't work. I was trying to shut the door. I totally missed. All right, there we go. I don't even think my wife's home. I think they're hearing somebody.
They're just going nuts.
They're just going nuts.
No, but yeah, you are right. And then even with smaller bands, like I don't like AI that much, but it's a great tool to have for certain aspects. Where if you are trying to book like a small tour, you know, throw in the AI, see what it pops out. Maybe there's small venues that are very non-Live Nation owned,
Right.
so that you can call them and get in contact with them and maybe book a tour that is like an 8 to 10 hour drive around your central hub and be able to promote as a small band. And then also, you know, if you have the room, I know there was a band, God, I wish I remember the name, but they were telling me that they have their own printer for t-shirts.
Yeah.
So that one of the guys was doing that all the time. The other one was more the booking manager person. The one was the producer of it all, and all of them came together and it worked.
Yeah, that's great. Now I've not tried the you know, AI for touring or anything like that, but you know, it's kind of, we kind of have a little bit of that in our band too, as you described with the people have different roles, you know. Like I was talking about Gunnar, he's like the on the more like technical side of things or mechanical side of things if we need it. And whenever he and I are like building out our rack for tours and stuff, like he's the guy I consult with, like, should we do it, you know, like this? And then our drummer is a photographer and graphic designer. So I got that one wrong. Valtiel Visuals is his company name, and he does like really moody kind of artwork, and so he does a lot of, you know, our like flyers and stuff like that. And anytime we need a visual, he's on it. And yeah, we all our guitarist Shandon is he used to drive trucks, so whenever we go on long drives, he's the one, you know. Oh my gosh, if you need somebody to back a trailer into a tight space, Shannon is the guy, you know. And yeah, so I'm naming it. I'll name our new guitarist Cody too, because he's like the like go-getter kind of. He's got that like that attitude that kind of makes everybody want to keep going when things aren't good. And if you need something handled, Cody handles it. And then yeah, so that's how we work. And then I handle the other stuff, you know what I mean? Most of the writing and the like planning stuff, you know. So it works out.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing I tell people who are, you know, photographers or in bands or trying to start anything with music, I'm like, you are your own business. Like, you are your own brand. As a band, yes, it's friends getting together and doing it, but in the end of the day, it is a business. And there's always different roles where, like you said, somebody might be good at this and that's what they do. You do this, and without each other doing it, the band's not going to succeed.
Yeah, exactly, man. And I'm so thankful for the guys that are in the band now. Like all of them, they're so good at their thing, you know. And we've had it before where most of the time that I've had in this band has been like I would do everything and then hope they practice the songs, you know what I mean? And a lot of times, if you miss one practice, then next week everybody forgot the songs, you know. So like keeping that together is tough. And then, you know, there have been times where it's like, I don't know. I won't go into full detail, but you get what I'm saying. I'm so thankful for these guys right now, where it's everybody brings their thing to the table, and honestly, everybody's like great at their, like, nobody's better at their instrument than anybody else in the band, which you find sometimes. Like one guy's like better at multiple things. Everybody in this band is the best in the band at their thing, and not only the best in the band, they're just like really really great at their instrument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I like how you mentioned that, where, you know, there's certain bands that, or times with a band where they have a musician in there that is just, you know, stands out. The one I can think of, and this is no shame to them, but Jason Richardson
Yeah.
from like Chelsea Grin, when he was in with them, and I'm just like, dude's a beast. Like, he stands out way too much, and it's nothing against everyone else in that band because they're all phenomenal musicians.
Mm-hmm.
But he left, and, you know, he did All That Remains, but he did his solo project, and his solo project was incredible.
So good. So good. I think, and I hope, and you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, or you can tell me, yeah, dude, whatever, you can lie to me if you want. I hope our music, I try to write it in a way where nothing stands out, like it's super subtle. Everything's built on each other and reliant on each other. In terms of like layering and parts of songs. And I don't know, I hope that there's nothing that like stands out. I just want it to, like, you know, all just mesh together to bring you like a vibe or a mood, instead of, oh, that, you know, guitar part is, you know, the sickest thing I've ever heard. All right, now on to the next band. I want it to be like, this is a cohesive thing, and, you know, it's like a cake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want the
Yeah,
frost
and
to be too sweet. You know?
And you actually hit the nail on the head with that one, where I think that's why it is so atmospheric, is because, you know, there's band like, well, I'll bring up Air again, where yes, it's atmospheric, but all of them are just fucking going nuts. I'm gonna be like I don't like, it's some, like, a lot of their stuff should not work, but it works for them.
Yeah.
And there's times where, like, I get kind of sucked out of the atmosphere style that they have. But when I was listening to you guys, I've listened to, what was the 2021 album called?
Pluto's Ghost.
Yes.
Yeah.
I listened to that in full, and it kept me in that mood the whole entire time, and took me on a journey where I kind of lost track of time, actually. Because it just kind of sucked you in. There wasn't that moment of like, holy shit, with like a drum fill or a guitar solo that I'm like, what the hell is he playing? And then I go back and listen and keep listening to that section. And it wasn't like that, where, you know, Era does that to me. All That Remains has done that with their drumming and guitars work as well. Back in the day, like Still Waiting, their Tides of Idol times. Where their first album's called something Tides of Idol or something. I don't know if that is still like a phenomenal album from start to finish for me. That was like 05 hardcore.
Right.
And but yeah, like with you guys, like you said, it flows. It kept me engaged. I was hooked from start to finish. And afterwards, when it was done, I wanted to go back and hit repeat, but I had to come on here.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate you you being timely. But yeah, that's what's fun about our stuff to me is, like, I write what I want to hear, and I can't play like these guys, so don't think I'm trying to compare or anything like that. But like, again, I love Periphery, right? So I love those riffs, and so my ear is like drawn to stuff that's a little more complicated, you know what I mean? Like intricate. And you can hear, I think, some of that in our stuff, but it's not like overwhelmingly complicated. But I tell everybody whenever they're trying to learn our stuff, we've had our fair share of like lineup changes in the past, and luckily the guys that have been with me currently have been there for like, I think, like 5 years. But anybody else that's auditioned, I've always been like, hey, you know, just whenever they say, oh, I'll have that in 2 days, I think it sounds like you'll have it in 2 days, but if you actually try to learn the parts, like, they're sneaky complicated. They're very sneaky. And my guys get, whenever we're stumbling over something, or they're learning a part, like our new guitar player Cody, who's taken my spot on guitar, because I'm just focusing on singing now. He's texting me all the time going like, I hate you for writing this. But it doesn't sound like it's hard, but it's so difficult. Sorry, buddy.
But I love
Sorry, Cody.
that stuff. Like, yeah, that's actually the stuff that I really enjoy is that sneaky, complicated. A band that was actually really good with that was, have you ever heard of the Color Morale?
I haven't. No.
So they were hardcore, but went into more hard rock, and I think they disbanded like 10 years ago. But their drummer is the drummer for Senses Fail now,
Shoot.
and old school name.
Yeah.
And his drumming and also the guitar work in the album No Hope is just so sneaky. Where the first time I listened to it, I'm like, yeah, this is good. And all of a sudden I listen to it again, and there's just little parts that stick out where I'm like, what the hell is he playing? And then it goes for all of them. I mean, I love that where, it's subtle.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I love subtlety in music. I love it.
Yeah. So you did mention that you got a new member, Cody, who's taking over. What led to you stepping away from being I'm assuming the rhythm guitarist?
Yeah, yeah. He was Cody's one of my best friends, and we became friends from the band. Like he met our old drummer at like actually it was at Guitar Center, and our old drummer was like, "You need to come to this show. You know, my band's playing," and he like let him hear our song "Blind," and Cody goes like, "I didn't." It was like an awakening for him. He didn't know there were bands in the area that sounded kind of like that, you know. And he asked the drummer. Cody gets me with this one all the time. He asked the drummer like, can you think maybe I can come to a rehearsal or something like that? And our drummer's like, nah, our singer Jacob's kind of a jerk. I don't think he'd like that. And so Cody ended up coming to a show and like timidly approached me as I was like stuffing my face with like buffalo wings or something like that. And was nervous that I was going to be a jerk, and we just became like fast friends. Anyway, we become close. He's super interested in guitars, and ends up becoming a guitar tech. So when we came back after COVID, we were like, hey man, kind of like you don't have to do anything fancy, but if you want to, like, you love the music, you're passionate about it, we're talking about it all the time. Like he was super into the songs I was writing, do you want to like be a tech for us? Sure. And so he's been like, ride or die since then. And working super hard for us as a tech. And eventually somebody, I think it was Gunnar, our bassist, mentioned to him like, dude, you ever want to like actually play guitar in the band? He's like, yeah, maybe I might do that. And he kind of like like launched it at me, I guess. Like, dude, what do you think about, it was like a late night conversation, about what he wants to do with his life, that kind of stuff. He's like, what do you think about it? Maybe if I play guitar, like, I don't know, you can say no and you can tell me, to kick rocks or whatever. And I thought about it and I was like, man, he's like sacrificed so much for the band. And for me, I can sacrifice like playing guitar for him, and I'm still writing it. I still play on that recordings and stuff. And so, I mean, so does he. I'm not the only one now, but yeah, it's kind of one of those things. It's just, if he puts in that much effort for me, man, I can give up playing guitar live for him.
Yeah, that's awesome. And like you said, you're still doing the recording yourself, and Cody's helping. Is he coming to you with like some new guitar riffs or anything yet? Or
yeah. He definitely has on our next album after Pluto's Ghost. He definitely has at least one song that he was the initial, idea, maker on that one. And there might be a couple. He just sent me one, like a riff 2 days ago. I think it was 2 or 3 days ago. So he's always sending me ideas. So it's great. It's just about like, what sticks there. I throw away way more ideas than I use of my own. So I tell the guys the same thing. Like if I say, oh, maybe, that doesn't mean it's bad. Or if I say, no, this won't work, doesn't mean it's bad. It's just, is that going to fit? Or do I hear a melody over this or whatever,
Yeah, that is, I like that, especially because I like when artists come together and work on songs together in a way where, say, I was actually listening to the Derek from Sum 41. He has a podcast, or not a podcast, but he did a book. And I didn't realize that he did like 99% of the writing. Like all the demos, all that stuff was him that he would push out to the band, and then they would kind of come back with their little parts. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. I like that, where the main ideas still come from him because he is some 41, but then he would send it out to the drummer, the guitarist, the bassist, and then they would all kind of come back with their bass parts for the demo, and then they would all go to a studio and do the full recordings.
Yeah, that it's that way in more bands than you think. Like there's normally like one or two guys that write everything, and then everybody else might throw an idea out there, or might like personalize their part. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's generally like one, or generally, not always, generally one or two.
Yeah, because another band that surprised me was actually August Burns Red. Their drummer was talking about it, and in the earlier days, he was just writing his parts. He didn't know how to create a song from start to finish, so that I can't remember when it was, but he went to school to actually learn it, like learn music. I don't know what the college course is called, but he learned how to like actually understand music, maybe music theory. I don't know. But yeah, he did that. And now I guess every album, he has one or two songs that are like his ideas all fleshed out. And then he was talking about when he writes, very strange, but he writes things that he can't play because it pushes him to learn.
Same here, dude. Yeah, the same here for sure. Like there are some parts that on Pluto's Ghost in particular, every album that I've done, it's been a little bit of that, you know what I mean? There's always one or two songs where I'm like, why did I do this? Why did I write this? But there are a couple on Pluto's Ghost where I wrote it. It took me forever to record it, like one guitar part or something like that. And then I never learned that part again. Like it's just recorded and now it's somebody else's problem. Normally it's Shandon's problem, like our other guitar player. He gets the tough parts that I learned how to play, one day and then forgot after that.
Then he's got to learn how to do it every single live show.
His problem, man, there's this one we have a song called Artificial Paradise where there's this like little tapping thing, and it's like more difficult than it should be because like both hands are going opposite directions in places, and yeah, he plays it pretty cleanly, so it's good for him. But man, that took me forever to record, and then I was like never doing that again, Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people are like, oh, that's not that hard, but like once your hands start doing the exact opposite, it goes sideways. Usually, at least for me, it does, where I'm just like, yeah,
same, dude. Same. It took me hours to record that part. I recorded it one time and called it a day.
And you're like, yep, this is good enough.
Yep, exactly.
So I know, like you said, you mentioned that you guys are going to be recording a new album and it should come out hopefully next year. Have you noticed with the years of recording what works well for your release schedule? Like, is it recording albums, or is it like Electric Cowboy, Baby Metal, Slaughter Prevail, where they release a bunch of singles over the course of 5 years and then they drop an album that has 7 out of 10 songs are the singles from the last 5 years?
I'm probably going to sound like a geezer with this, but I hate that the modern way music is released, like the single thing. Like I want the full, I want to be able to like open a booklet. I still collect CDs. I want to be able to open a booklet and read, look at the art and read the
lyric sheets,
the lyric sheets and the notes of like who did what, who was the assistant engineer, like all that stuff. And man, I just feel like everything's, I don't know, like you listen to our album, or at least some of it, man. Like, oh, you said you listen to front to back. I'll take your word for that. I'll believe you. But can you think like, is there any song where you'd go like, oh, yeah, that'll work great on its own? Like when I hear our stuff, I don't. I just go, no. It's like
I'm going to be honest, no.
Yeah, no, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Nothing hurts my feelings, really. But I want it to be a cohesive like piece of art that's got like 12 or 13 parts. You know what I mean? And they all play off one another. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. So many bands that I like will do the EP thing or the single thing, and it's cool that I'm getting something new from them. But at 3:30 when it's the song's over, I'm like, okay, where's the next one? Or when they put out a 10-song album and all the songs are 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, it's we're 30 minutes later and the album's already done. You know what I mean? I want something that's like deep, that like I can like let, I don't know. I want to take me on a ride,
Yeah.
Take me on a journey.
Yeah, I'm very much the same way. The one thing I really enjoy with being a photojournalist is that I get to listen to albums like a month or so before they come out, and I get to dissect them. Like I go deep dive into it. I listen to it so many different times, so many different ways on different, so I can like really understand it, grasp it, and formulate my opinion of it's usually good. Like I always find good in any kind of things. But the cool part with that is Story of the Year dropped a new album this year, and they only released 2 singles off of the whole entire album, off of like 12 or 13 tracks, whatever it was. And I only knew one of the singles that got released because it's the opening track. I'm like, okay. But everything else was brand new to me, on a journey, and it was absolutely incredible. I'm like, I miss this.
Yeah.
Like when Slaughter Prevail last year, 2 years ago, released their album, I'm like, I already know 7 out of the 10 songs already because they're just singles from the last few years. And same with Baby Metal, where I'm like, yes, I've already heard Ratatata, Song 3, because they're already collabs with Electric Cowboy and Slaughter Prevail. And I'm just like,
Dude,
I want that experience.
I mean, think it's like there are so many. I think everybody has those things where they're like, I wish I could experience that for the first time again. Like, I wish I could experience Star Wars for the first time again. You know what I mean?
Same here.
Empire Strikes Back. Are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
I want to know. You know, I want to not know what happens again. But music's the same for me, man. When I listen to an album, I want it to be like, I want to experience it for the first time as a complete piece of art. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the business isn't structured that way anymore, and I get it. Social media, it's short attention spans. That's fine. The thing with me, man, is I just want to make the art that I want to consume. You know what I mean? And if people are into that, that's amazing. I love that. But if they're not into it, I made it for me anyway. You know?
Yeah, I'm the same. Like I totally understand it, and it's no shame against or whatever against any band that does the singles.
No.
I did like, do you know the band The Plot and You?
Not enough to say I do.
So a couple years ago, sometime between post-COVID and now, somewhere in this last 6 years, they released 3 EPs in a year. So it was like volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and each one had
kind of cool
3 to 4 songs. Yeah. And I was just like, this is dope because it's something that, yes, it keeps them relevant. Yeah. Relevant. Every quarter they're releasing something, but even for fans, it's like you kind of get a solid experience each time. And then when you put it all together at the end of the year, when it all finally came out, I'm like, this is awesome. I enjoyed that. But when you just release a single, I kind of just, yeah, I want more.
Man, exactly. You get, it's like just enough to make you angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like a prime example for me is Electric Cowboy with they released Tanzid. Do you know Electric Cowboy at all?
I've heard them, but I'm not. But Gunner's a huge fan. I like what I hear. I don't know.
Yeah. I call it partycore. Like it is very fun. They throw in a lot of electronic elements, which I love, like house. I love drum and bass on top of metal, punk. I'm all over the place. Kind of the only thing I really don't like is country, and that's just because I don't like country shows and what happens at country shows.
Fair enough.
So like right there, I'm just like, I'm checked out. I'm like, I need meaning with music. I don't care about pickups and drinking and
the girl with the tight blue jeans.
Yes.
Name drop every classic country artist you can. I'm with you, man. My wife's a country music fan, so I have to endure that on car rides. And I'm like, let's see which thing they could check off. Did they mention the truck? Did they mention the blue jeans? Did they mention, you know?
But so besides that, but they back to Electric Cowboy, they release singles. But the one thing I give them credit for is that when they do release a single, they release a music video, and their music videos are top notch. Like this reminds me of what like that early 2000s where you would spend a lot of money in production on a music video because it was getting pushed on MTV. So like I give them leeway on that because like you also have an incredible music video, but still at the end of it, after 4 minutes or so, I'm just like, I want more. Like give me more.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%.
But then you also have bands like Streetlight Manifesto who, you know, doesn't put out an album for 15 years and then they're like, here's 3 songs and it's 25 minutes long.
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
You know,
I thought you were going to go that. I'm not familiar with that band, but I thought you were going to go like the Tool route where it's like years between albums or whatever, and then each song is 10
Yeah.
minutes, 15 minutes long.
Yeah, and it becomes a math equation, and by the end of it, my brain's hurting. I'm like, I don't understand this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Tool, but it's like it's awesome, but it also gives me a headache because I try to start understanding what the hell they're playing,
Yeah.
and I'm like, my brain doesn't function like this. I love it for what it is, but I can't do it.
Yeah. There's some bands you just gotta let it happen. You know what I mean? And Tool is one of those for me. Don't think about it. Just let it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any tours that you guys are gonna be heading out on this year, or is it kind of more or less
Hopefully,
recordings?
in the second half of the year, we're still kind of lining stuff up in the second half. We got a couple cool shows coming up. We're doing Pluto's Ghost in entirety here at home. We just did it a couple nights, a couple weeks ago. My brain's, I need more coffee now, but yeah, we've done it a couple times, and then we're bringing it home to here in Greenville, South Carolina. We're playing Pluto's Ghost front to back, and then we've got a couple shows with Cold in May, and then we'll see what happens after that. Our agent is supposedly working on filling out the rest of the year for us, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Now, when you guys tour, are they like a month long tour? Are they like a week or two,
Weeks.
couple weeks? I feel like that's a sweet spot now.
Yeah, probably, man. I'll tell you, like at the end of week 2, when people aren't sleeping and you're in a van, you know,
You're ready. You're ready to be like, all right, I want to go home in my bed, and
there's like it goes from day, like we'll say, like there's just some crazy thing that happens from day 10 to day 11. You know what I mean? It's you get a little testy.
it's funny how you brought that up because I was talking to my brother's girlfriend a couple nights ago, and we were talking about trips and how Arizona, a lot of my dad's side of the family lives out there, and I haven't been out there. It was like a 20 plus year gap of not going out there. But the first time that I was out there, we were there for a week, and it went by way too quick. So the second time we go for 2 weeks. I'm now in second grade, and my cousins are, I think, 2, 3 years older than me. So, we're young and dumb. And by the 10-day mark, we were all about to murder each other.
Yeah.
and, and I mean, by the time that we left, we didn't go back for 20 years. It wasn't because we wanted to kill each other, but I just I joke around about that still, where I'm just like, yeah, we tested each other at a very young age, and then it took us 20 years to go back.
Yeah, for sure. It's that way, when you go out, even for a few, I mean, yeah, a few days, like a week run is great. You know what I mean? And a 2 week run is great. Like you don't want it to end. You never want it to end. But yeah, emotions, maybe not emotions. I don't know. People just are there's the lack of sleep, I think, is what makes
Yeah,
everybody
you
a little more on
get
edge.
cranky.
Yeah. Yeah.
The lack of sleep, and then the caffeine isn't just doing it anymore.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah, and also you guys, like, it's a tight space. I mean, he can't deny that.
Yeah. No, dude. Yeah. When you're in a van, it's tight.
Yeah.
And the bunks
Yeah.
aren't, they're comfy, but man, ours are like, you don't have much space as you're staring up at the top bunk or to the roof. And well, luckily I have space a little bit because I sleep on our little like bench because I'm the smallest. So I snuggle up. So I have space,
Yeah, you can like stretch out and actually.
I have space here, but none for my legs, or arms. I have to be like curled up. So it's a thing for sure.
I think I might take the bench because I don't know. I might get a little claustrophobic if I look up and I'm like, I can only like go like a foot and my hands are touching the other bunk.
Yeah, it's tight. It's tight, but the bench is good for that, but it's not
Not
comfy.
great. Yeah.
No. But it is what it is. We love playing, so it doesn't matter. We love getting up and going to the next place and doing the best we can.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, I think, is you love what you do. It can, yeah. And as long as you guys are having fun, that's all that matters too.
Exactly. It's all about the love of the game, man. There's nothing fun about like sleeping in a van with a bunch, or sharing a bed with other dudes in their late 20s to mid 30s, and that's there's nothing fun about that. We have to love something. And that's performing, man. We all, even if people are in moods or whatever, we just lock in. And I've talked about like bad moods. I feel like it's a common occurrence. It's not. We all get along. It's crazy how well we get along, but it's yeah, once it's stage time, we just get in the zone. You know what I mean? I love it.
Yeah, the one thing I absolutely respect with Kiss was that they understood that. I wish I could talk to them about their marketing because Gene was a genius
Yeah,
with Kiss coffins and everything Kiss and making so much money besides just music.
yeah,
And but they've all said the same thing when it came to the perform. Didn't matter if we wanted to kill each other. If we put that aside for the hour and a half because those people in the crowd paid to come watch us, and do they
yeah,
want to see us be jerks to each other on stage, or do they want to see a Kiss show? And it's the Kiss show. So like,
exactly.
so
There.
like when
Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking there was a specific moment where we were on a tour and it was just dumb. Like our drummer Bryce and I got into not into it. We just said like smart comments to each other during sound check, and we were both right and both wrong. It was one of those things, and we took a second, and then this is what's great about our band is we took our moment, and then I went up to him and I was like, dude, I shouldn't have said that. Like, how I should have communicated that was this way. And he's like, dude, you're right. I was thinking about it, and the way I should have said this was this way. And we hugged it out, and everything's good. That's the way we work. Is if there's an issue, we just get a breath and you know, uh, uh, we hug it out, and then it's good, man. We don't let it fester. I think.
Yeah, my brother and I are very similar like that, where we have very different sides of us. But when
Mhm.
it comes to if we're frustrated with each other, we'll take 5 minutes, just go walk, go get some air, take some deep breaths, whatever, and then come back and be like, all right, this is why I'm mad, or this is why, and whatever, and then we just sort it out. And within a couple minutes, we're back to calling each other jackasses, dumbasses,
Yeah,
fat asses, whatever.
I
It
don't know
just
that
happens.
I don't know that we do that, but we definitely like we rip on each other all the time. So that's part of it too, right? You got to be able to make fun of each other.
Yeah, we do. I'm going to call him out on this one. Over the weekend, we got some new lights for the business where they're trying to testing them out in his basement, and he's like, "Yo, you want to get a pizza?" I said, "Sure." He calls up the place. He says his name, and they're like, "Oh, you want the same thing as last time?" I looked at him,
Oh
and
my
he just
god,
looks at me. He's like, "Shut up!" I'm like, "Badass."
that's shameful.
uh, uh, yeah, so I'm calling him out on that still.
Hey, don't. He shouldn't feel bad about it. My buddy and I had a pizza place that we used to go to, somewhat frequently, and the waitress there ended up going like, "You guys want the usual?"
So
Oh
we do
yeah,
come here
we
too
do.
much.
Yes.
I mean, I worked at a pizza place for 4.5 years. It's how I paid for college, so I didn't have any student loans.
Oh my
But
god.
there was always like a dozen to 2 dozen people that would come in once a week and order the same thing. And it got to the point where they see me and I see them, and I just start typing it in, and they're like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, it's the usual, whatever." But when you get that over a phone, that's a little bit different.
that hits harder. Yeah, for sure. For sure. That's almost disrespectful to say it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, it's been 3 days now or 2 days, whatever. And he's just like, "Are you gonna let this go?" I'm like, "No,
No, never.
no, I've never called a place that much for food where they're like, oh, the usual."
Yeah, yeah. The sound of your breathing, they know.
Yes.
You know.
Oh yeah. So, where can people find you?
Everywhere. Just look up State of Illusion, and we're there. Some Instagram State of Illusion music. Somebody stole State of Illusion, but yeah, just our website has all of our links. stateofillusionmusic.com. Yeah, we're easy to find.
Awesome. All right, Jacob. This has been awesome, dude.
Yeah, yeah. We went on some real rants there and some
Oh yeah.
trails for sure.
I let the squirrel moments fly.
For
The only
sure.
way to do this.
I dig it.
All right, man. Yeah, everyone go follow State of Illusion on Instagram, their website. Do you have a YouTube channel as well?
Yes, yes. And we've got a music video. I don't know when you're going to drop this, but we've got a music video for our song Death Is Not the End, releasing April 16th. And it's going to be a cool video, so subscribe to the YouTube.
Hell
There you
yeah.
go.
Hell yeah. Yeah, this will drop probably actually in like 4 or 5 days. I usually try to get things done throughout the week. So Friday morning, afternoon, I have it set up to drop. And then I do all the back end stuff. But I
Yeah,
try to keep these things out within a few days.
gotcha. Yeah. Well, if there's a platform, we're on it. So,
Awesome.
for sure.
Everyone go follow them. And I can't wait to hear more music next year.
Yeah, I can't wait to share it. It's cool so far.
Sweet. All right, man. Take care.
See ya.
And that's another awesome episode in the books. And again, please subscribe to State of Illusion, Rock DNA Magazine, and myself, Dropclick Images. And until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the pit.